Hi, everybody. Welcome today to Thursday, the 24th of February. This is our meeting for the Hot Planet Repair team to give you some updates on what's going on, what we've been able to get done over the past few weeks, where we're going ahead, how we're going to do so together, where we need you. So we wanted to really tell you that, there's the untrashing movement that needs to occur. There's 200-year party, which we've been spewing up hydrocarbons and trash into our oceans and all the other different forms which we've been poisoning our planet, environments, and home. We are here to scale up planet repair. We're here to be the janitors to clean up the mess that we've all made. The janitors without borders, you can call us. And we're going to be tapping into the power of cultural forces, art, music, entertainment, to build up these campaigns, to mobilize these movements, which will eventually play a huge role in engagement, telling stories and pathways in which people can be involved in scaling up planet repair. So we have to clean this planet up. And a big part of what we want to recognize today is the urgency in which this is occurring. So we have a global neutrality statement. Today is a unique day in history. Hprt believes that it is unacceptable and unnecessary power mongering by activities such as invading territory full of communities because their people, land, and insecurity must suffer underneath arrogant war. These insensitive steps make it harder for humanity to make good, efficient use of resources and human attention because it diverts us away from the mission of responsibly repairing our planet as soon as possible. This kind of behavior is not acceptable within the family that calls home, Earth home, and needs to live with the deep bond we need to strengthen with Mother Nature. HBRT hopes that if humanity, each one of us, can learn one thing, is that we need to be loyal to each other and Earth. And that means that you have to help your fellow family members protect home. Help, don't hurt. Clean up, don't trash, untrash. Support the family members that need to go through transitions, such as continental Europe's energy transition that needs to be accelerated for obvious reasons. The sooner we can get money in scaling up solutions, the better off that HBRT can help out all family respecting countries and continents around the world to be part of the solution. We need to invest in our communities, each other, start respecting one another, and loyalty, trust, communication, scaling solutions up is one of the best ways that we can do this together as strong alliances. So thank you for hearing about our global neutrality statement. And we're going to move on to other parts of the presentation with our team members. Thank you. Now we're going to hand off to our team members that are doing the key performance indicators. Please.
So talking about this slide, these are our KPIs. And one of the key ones is volunteer hours, because we can use that as matching dollars for big corporations giving donations, foundations giving donations, and basically every hour we put in the United States and even globally can be counted as about $28 of value. That's what the IRS allows us to do here in the United States. We've also are assigning people to talk about these things. For instance, the volunteer hours, we're going to be recording all those. Everybody's time will be a contribution. And a meeting like this is worth $300-400 of in-kind contribution. Allison's going to be reporting on those every meeting. And then we have strategic partnerships. Tyler, you want to talk about a little bit about that?
Sure. We've been developing relationships with several different groups that are familiar in the philanthropic space, as well as the grant writing space. So there's some exciting areas going on there as well in the artistic space. And that's going to be interesting. I'm actually speaking in a month and a half for the Marco Island Center of the Arts. We'll be including Hot Planet Repair team and ways for people to get involved and getting down at the community level. And also spoke with the Think Pineapple Foundation for helping us with events, at least in Southwest Florida. But obviously, we have opportunities to influence globally, and we're experiencing just like an influx of kind of new members, new recruits. I talk to people every day on everything that we're doing. We've seen a 23% increase in LinkedIn members. There's been other people that have signed on and done other things that are kind of going directly to the membership from the website, as well as on Facebook. So there's some growth there. But if there's any way for people to help increase recognition, please send it out on your socials. If there's anything I might have missed on partnerships.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
good. I would just add that we have some interesting partnerships going on, and we're going to be letting you know about those updates once the timing is right. And for those of you that have professional experience with partnership development, account management, there's spots for you within Hot Planet Repair team to help amplify these efforts that we're doing, as we're going to need lots of different partners in order to scale in Planet Repair. So thank you, Tyler, for running us through that. And let's go on to web updates. So for web updates, we have recently created our events page, because we understand how critical it is for us to allow the community to grow organically and have its own networking opportunities, ways which we can connect like this, give you updates in this meeting. And next week on Thursdays, we're going to be starting our social events where we can get together as a bigger group, break out into breakout rooms. Rosetta Wang is going to be helping us out with that. So thank you, Rosetta. Much appreciated. And any of those of you that want to help get involved with our events and how we market them, design them, implement them, and the ways in which we're sharing them digitally, that would be great too. We're looking for event management platforms in order to optimize the way in which people can sign up and join meetings. So that's pretty exciting advances we made so far. Also, the Join the Team page has been updated. So help us recruit people. This is where you send them to the Join the Team page. We need help for particular roles. We're getting more applicants for a cartoonist, animator, and creative storyteller, but we really need a lot of new donor recruiters and sales developers, those that can help us get in all those different donations, relationships, and strategic partnerships. So that would all be helpful if you could provide us your feedback on the Join the Team page, share it. We're going to be building out different roles, so keep your eyes peeled on this website right there. For members and recruiting, just as Tyler was saying before, we need to optimize how we're using our LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those big, powerful social media players that we're talking about, so people can get engaged, learn about Hot Planet Repair Team, go to our website, eventually be onboarded and recruited in the ways which makes sense about how they want to get involved within Planet Repair and our teams. So if there's any of you out there that have a great recruiting experience and want to help out with this, please let us know. If you want to help build awareness, share it within your networks, we need you all to list yourselves as members on our LinkedIn page. That will be a very helpful part of the process too. But our membership is growing, our messaging is working. That's what we've been spending the past few months working really hard to develop who we are, what we're doing, how we're getting there. And we're getting all of that attention that we need, but we need the right people to help us recruit and develop these relationships in optimal manners. So we're excited to get you all on board to help us do that. For the website, social media, community management platforms, that's just what I was talking about right there. So eventually we'll be rolling out a community management platform where you can easily communicate within Hprt across members. But for now, we're going to be really focusing on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as our Telegram app service there. Please just expect more there. We could use support if anyone has any expertise. That's what we got so far. So I'm going to hand it off to which team member will be taking over for the marketing, comms, and content storytelling. Allison, I believe that's
I think it's me. Yep. So Jake did some great work this week on the website, and he built 2 new pages. There's a newsroom page, so everything sort of is concentrated with regards to our content in the newsroom page, and an events page. So please go check them out, and you'll find our articles on the newsroom page, or I should say Jake's articles on the newsroom page, because he's the one who's been doing all the hard work. So please go read them, like them, share them. We're still working, constantly on the editorial calendar. If you want to write an article, have an idea for an article, we'd love to hear it. Please let us know. We've also been working on the Hprt intro video. It's going to be about 45 seconds to a minute. And hopefully we'll have that done in the next few weeks. and we can show that to everybody in one of our meetings. And we're looking for volunteer testimonials for some of the videos that we're going to be doing. So if you would like to be on camera and talk about why you joined HPRT, we'd love to hear from you. So let us know.
Yeah, and also if you don't like to be on camera, you can write it down for us.
That's right.
There's many different ways in which we can understand why you joined, why you were attracted to HPRT, why you engage with us, and why you're a member. Each
And
one
that
of
could
your
be part of
stories.
our, yeah, could be part of
Go
our
ahead.
content.
And
Yeah,
there's a real easy way to do it, guys. Have a Zoom meeting with yourself and hit the record button.
Yep.
I also wanted to say that, I really like Jake's writing, and we have some avenues, and I think a lot of people have avenues in their local communities, in their philanthropic and kind of social registries for nonprofits. And so for us, we have the Gulf Shore Life magazine. So most of the most influential people in Southwest Florida are involved in that, and there's a social registry for us to submit Hot Planet Repair Team and Jake's Medium articles, which are essentially kind of like press releases, but a little bit, more focused on actual content rather than just a quick blurb. And so I'm going to be active in making sure that Jake's articles are actually submitted into those registries, and that Hot Planet Repair Team becomes more prominent in print here in Southwest Florida. But I think that a lot of members don't know how to get the word out, and there's a lot of kind of registry magazines and the Who's Who magazines that just don't know, and they all have editorial staff that have important roles to make sure that new nonprofits are recognized. Because I was speaking with one of the people that deal with all of those donors, and that they're getting a little stale, that the donations are getting lower, and that they are getting tired of going and donating to the same old groups, and they want, real material impact. And I think that that's where we'll shine.
Thank you very much, Tyler and Allison. It's really important that we share all of these different stories, the articles, our volunteer testimonials, why we're involved, why our communities need to get involved, and tapping into the power of our communities. Those networks is how we're going to win, to, as we were saying, be the spiders connecting the webs, and the humble servant leadership to develop the relationships and the resources that we need in order to succeed. And one way in which we need to do this is just go out and be loudmouths about the repair team. Go out and be the person going out in the streets with your friends, or within different social circles, or ways in which you can spread the message. And there's different members that have reached out already and say, I want to get involved in helping spread the message in my community and the story that I have to tell. So I had a meeting yesterday with Ryan McHenry Timothy in Zimbabwe, and he's going to help start writing some articles for Hot Planet Repair Team from his perspective to help recruit young people across Africa and elsewhere, because that's what he wants to do and help spreading this message and the opportunities that we're creating here as a team. So if each one of you can come in and play your own role in that, and even if it's just sharing articles that or posts that someone else has made regarding what we're doing, that would be very valuable. So let's move on to developing our ecosystems with Alan.
Before I jump in that, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and use the Q&A system in Google Meets, and we'll answer as we can during the meeting. So we're developing our ecosystems. Go to the next slide there, Jake. We're working on requirements right now for the connectory, which is basically going to digitally network all the people, places, and things and projects, and basically every entity on the planet. It'll just be a small database we have to manage. Playbook Alpha will hopefully get done this month, and we'll get that out. The Hot Planet Repair Leagues are going to follow on later this year, but we're starting to align and understand what that means. It's rulemaking, it's scoring, it's reporting, it's accountability, it's branding, communications, marketing. So far, it's been resonating very, very well with everyone we've talked to, because we can be inclusive with every single project. I mean, we're talking to a group that represents about 50 tree planters, and now we can crank up a competition with 50 teams. which gets to be really, really cool. Now that's just a small, those guys are, they're terraforming the planet. So that's cool. So this is a lot of work. It's a lot of heavy lifting, but I'm looking for any inputs people want to give me. Email me anytime, and I'll take them into consideration, and we'll see how it happens. I think the goal for this is to have a basic connectory up in the next 3 to 4 months. We're already doing a little bit of that with people signing up in membership and on the forums and things like that. We're getting names. We're starting to build data sets. And then the real connectory is when we start bringing projects in and uniting everybody into the giant network. That's all I got right now, Jake.
Great. And should we touch upon the leagues at all, or?
Well, the leagues, again, they're going to come out later, but I mean, it's resonating with everybody we've talked to, and we got to build that structure, which is going to follow, similar to a professional NBA, NFL type of league. But we're going to have all kinds of teams. So, I really don't have a lot to say about it right now because it's really early in the working process.
Yeah, exactly. That makes total sense, Alan. But it's great for all of you members to understand. These are some of the three main structures, mechanisms we're building, working hard with getting feedback and insight from others. So those of you that want to be involved and add value, we're happy to have you, and looking forward to what we'll be able to do and build together here and now in the future. So thank you all for your time, energy, and support for scaling up Planet Repair. What we need to understand is that we are in a unique time in history for many different reasons. And it's one of those decades in multi-generational cycles where people have to step up to the plate and be courageous. Find your civic courage, understand what role you play in making the world a better place and scaling up Planet Repair. Help, don't hurt, support, rebuild, untrash, restore, repair. Let's have fun while we do it. Let's tap into these cultural forces such as art, music, entertainment, and the beautiful sides of human life in order for us to connect, inspire, and motivate each other for a better home for everyone. We're going to move on to question and answers, but thank you all for that presentation so far.
Yeah, and I also wanted to say while that's going on that Carvatura, a corporate partner of Hot Planet Repair Team, we're scaling up the untrashing worldwide, and our zero emissions system that doesn't require any sorting and can both take all municipal solid waste and mine landfills. So we can no longer necessarily rely on, just hydrocarbons pulled out of the planet, but literally the waste streams of the hydrocarbons and all that trash, and turn that not just into waste to fuel, because that's, high capex into low margin business. It's a really tough sell. But when you're coming into taking all that trash, not creating any emissions, not having to deal with trash picking machines that are very inefficient and very slow. We're talking about high efficiency, shifting all of our municipal solid waste into valuable materials. These are the materials that everything's going to be built from. We're decarbonizing and electrifying our supply chains. And Carvatura is going to be critical in that. As a corporate partner of Hot Planet Repair Team, we look forward to helping scale that out and develop teams within that globally to compete against each other to do the most good.
I think the biggest thing is that we're creating a virtual landfill with that project, right, Tyler?
Correct. It's essentially a virtual landfill that there is no waste, there are no emissions, and we have the sovereign and sub-sovereign funding to get that accomplished worldwide.
Something that we might have not touched upon is if anyone has any experience with Blackbod or any other fundraising activities, strategies, get involved with us. Reach out to me at jake.kelly@hotplanet.repair. Otherwise, I think we've covered everything so far.
Along with that, Jake, just to let me piggyback on you real quick on that. 2 specific areas around fundraising, capital raising would be any experience with setting up the new fundraising platform on Meta Facebook, any experience with that, accelerating that, expanding it, socializing it would be a great talent to have. And the second, on the other end of the spectrum, is grant writing capabilities for nonprofits. If you have written, grants before, Allison's raising her hand. Allison probably will be the head of that. Most of the grant writing I've done, recently is through the NIH, NIA, and it takes a team to get those grants submitted with all the elements, all the parts. The grants that we'll be kind of focusing on could come from private foundations, private entities that are looking to accelerate their grant giving their donations to an entity like us that is as much more actionable, because again, most of our money goes towards actual projects, actual work, rather than to a team of administrators or people that are just garnering a salary manage the nonprofit. So that's where we're probably different, from the outset, as our culture and our pedigree. But those are the two ends of the spectrum. I think the Facebook setup and acceleration is probably fairly easy, and it's something we'll probably do fairly soon to make it easy for anybody that wants to donate directly to us. And then on the other end of the spectrum is this grant making, grant writing that is challenging and time consuming and takes certain steps. So anyway, thank you for that.
Well said, John. And yeah, just to add on to that a little bit more, we have our Just Giving platform now for crowdfunding and peer-to-peer fundraising. In order for that to really work well, we all need to once again tap into our networks, and we have to share content, tell our stories. Why do I care about this cause? People will see, okay, this is where my friend or the person I know in my network cares about this cause. One way in which one of our founding members has done that with something else that's involved and or related to a hot plant repair team, as we're all helping each other out scale plant repair, is Paulina and Fabian have the Big Suck documentary, and they shared a really great post this week, which is similar to showing that you need fundraising, peer-to-peer engagement to tell everybody about what's happening. Build up opportunities for that message to get out there. And we need the same thing with Hot Plant Repair Team and our fundraising, peer-to-peer, Facebook. You can use Instagram and TikTok also to be amplifiers. So let's tap into what we've said is the most powerful 4 social media platforms. Start off with Facebook, and then LinkedIn, of course, and then additionally Instagram and TikTok. So any of you that have experience, or anyone in your family or friends that is familiar with these platforms, need everyone's voice, because it's all an important part of the story. Thank you.
Jake, stream of consciousness based on what John Arciero was sharing. For those of us who are on various social media platforms such as Facebook, invariably when it's someone's birthday, I should say increasingly, not invariably, I'm seeing people ask for a donation. Why not, right? I mean, they do it for all kinds of things, which would lead me to the next statement. And I don't know if this is appropriate, but would GoFundMe be yet another channel to run down? And then another concept is maybe networking with groups that have become very, very successful over the years. It used to be known as Hedge Funds Care. It's known as Help for Children. Now, if you're familiar with that group, close to the founders of that, they love talking about what they're doing. Of course, they're looking, to increase their donations forever, but they sponsor events and the like. And, maybe we could take cues from their playbook. Maybe they could help us. Maybe we could co-market. Of course, we don't want to mix messages too much, because someone's going to be more of a winner than the other. And then there's another group called Kids in Crisis in Stamford, Connecticut. Maybe not as far-reaching as Help for Children, but they've carved out an audience. And so maybe aligning with trade industry groups, the Hedge Fund Association is case in point. There are private equity groups. We can go through the many, many newsletters that are out there. I have a list of all of them, and just start having Hprt show up there. I mean, we need to think about how we execute on that. I think honestly, the hedge fund industry has done a beautiful job trying to show a kinder face. And there's really a convergence of alternative investments and ESG impact investing and the like, greenwashing aside.
Well said.
Fantastic. Thank you, John. John's been helping us out. So props to John with helping us get into these networks and develop our strategies for fundraising and the other ways in which we'll be working with innovative financing.
Yeah, the other thing I just wanted to add, if I may, I'm sorry, I'll be quick. I mentioned GIIN yesterday. I mentioned the United Nations. I mentioned the World Bank. I had done a business plan for a group that I had worked with a few years ago. It was for HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities. And in that deep dive into the ESG/impact investing space, I uncovered an entire ecosphere of these groups that are, I'll call them flag wavers. There's probably a much better word, but the point is, they're big, they're increasing, they have money, they attract money, and I'm happy to share that, which led to my question in the chat there. Jake, I think you mentioned some kind of intranet. I don't, was it Hotbot or something like that, or whatever you called it? Unless I'm conflating two different things, that we could communicate between and amongst ourselves. I can send documents, we can exchange ideas, communicate.
That was Blackbaud.
Blackbaud will
Blackbaud,
provide that.
I said Hotbot,
Yeah,
sorry.
Blackbaud will provide that interchange platform of sharing documents, communication, and also connecting with other nonprofit and for-profit companies that want to support us. Yeah.
So
Well,
we use something like Slack or Trello or whatever.
Oh,
team.
yeah, for internal communications, we haven't selected, right, Jake? We haven't selected an internal comm other than Telegram, another internal comm platform. I think that's what John's referring to. We are looking at a transition from Google Workspace and Drive and all that to a Microsoft-based platform, only because when we do launch Blackbaud in March, they are more of a Microsoft, friendly shop. And at that point, anybody that is a working volunteer for us or an employee of HPRT would be integrated, by using both the Microsoft platform and the Blackbaud platform that are thoroughly integrated.
Can you guys tell us how you guys are using the funds once you get a donation and how that's distributed? Is that going to pay us for salaries to help do this full time, or is this donations? How does this work?
So I would say that first off is getting the systems in place, and volunteer help is being used. And then as we decide what the workloads are, we then start staffing up, and volunteer positions turn into partially paid staff positions to full paid staff positions. We just incrementally walk into this. Money is really focused on actionable items that have a ROI to planet repair. Everything we look at evaluates that way. We're not going to be spending any money on lobbying, activist activities, political activities. It's all focused on actually cleaning up the planet, and it's going to lead into a blended capital stack. When we have the Hot Planet Repair Team leagues running, where we can evaluate, and we're partnering with a group called United Cities, and another group that is called the SDG Fund. The SDG Fund is a multi-billion-dollar donor-advised fund. We will be having our own branded donor-advised fund where large donations can be used as part of the capital stack to go build projects. And HPRT, as a nonprofit, will be an investor inside of for-profit projects, so it can help also become self-funding. That's how the money will end up being used.
So what you're saying is we'll be eleemosynary. We won't be activist or political. We'll be purely charitable in a sense.
Absolutely.
Mission driven, if that makes sense.
Mission driven, and absolutely focused on neutrality and being agnostic, all those things. So there's plenty of people doing greenwashing and lobbying and activism.
Yeah, we're moving from activism to actionism. We want to start getting things done, not blaming and shaming. So we're really building up the structures, systems, teams, but we obviously need those resources first in order to do that. So that's why we're all here. And we really appreciate all your time in order to do so, because it's a competitive environment, but that's what we're trying to stop. We're trying to stop that competitive environment where these different NGOs are fighting for funds and monies in our isolated islands of planet repair. We want to help build those bridges, and this first phase isn't easy, but we're working hard, and we appreciate all of you that are willing to help us. And once those funds come around to show that those who have provided the most worth, value, and support will get those, as they deserve a spot, within the initial funds of what Hot Planet Repair Team is doing. So thank you for asking that question. It's a great question, and one we want to keep revisiting too. Anyone have anything else that would be helpful to talk about today?
So are you guys going to be project managers? Are you guys going to do your actual own projects, or just team up with other people that are doing projects?
So the formation of the Hot Planet Repair Team leagues is about supporting for-profit projects that are doing repair work and putting a framework in place of reportability, accountability, scoring, penalties, basically nurturing good behavior of teams that are repairing the planet and providing a standardized global framework that allows small to giant projects to exist. Right now, we have such a disjointed standardization. There's no standardization across planet repair. Planet repair is a new industry that we are building, and we think that it's a mission for everyone in the planet, for all entities involved, including the planet itself, So it's critical that there's reportability and accountability and complete transparency, because there's a lot of people out there trying to greenwash their way through this right now.
Right. Yeah, you're definitely going to need to prove that to people that you are managing funds correctly and properly, and be able to explain that very well for sure.
Yeah, and as a nonprofit company, as it grows, it'll be fully audited, full disclosure of all its financials. I mean, it's a public charity, so it has to be way above board, and it'll be even farther above board than the lobbying groups out there and all the other funny money stuff.
If I want to send a document to the group, should I use Telegram for the time being, or should I send it, let's say, to you, Jake, Tyler, and then it'll be distributed, through Gmail,
John,
whatever?
John, I'll reach out to you. Any of you that wanted to get involved in supporting these activities, we'll set up the right teams in which you can communicate with them.
Yeah,
So,
I want to share the
reach out.
list of the people in the ecosphere that I've uncovered. Goes back a few years, but it's a good core. So.
Okay, fantastic. All right, thank you everyone for your time today. Unless we have anything else, we all appreciate your evangelism for Planet Repair and any way that we can support all of this. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Or
Thank you,
Nancy,
guys.
did you want to say something? Nancy Lee, did you want to say something?
Yes, can I please ask something? In order for businesses to get your symbol on their business page, like
Logo.
this is like a tag you want businesses to have, Planet Repair Team, right?
Yeah, so we have a logo image right now we could give to you. So send me an email, jake.kelly@hotplanet.repair, and we'll send you an image that will say Hot Planet Repair Team sponsor, member or partner, and each one of you can put that on our website. We're also building up our partner spot, so we can update all of our partners there. That's one thing we've been meaning to do over the past weeks, but that got put off.
I had a question for Alan about apparel. Do you have any T-shirts, Planet Repair Team?
We've been talking about merchandise and swag for a while now, so we need your support, Nancy Lee, if you're or anyone else who's willing to do so. So let's set up a meeting early next week, Nancy Lee, and we can figure this out together. Appreciate it so much.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye now.
Awesome.
Take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Nancy. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.